Got a Portastudio door here. This one happens to be from a 414, but a lot of them are made of this same material. I'm guessing it's Perspex, I don't know exactly. But some of them will get this kind of cloudy scratch quality to them. In the past I've just been leaving that, but I was looking at my mate Robin's blog, Art from EU Waste. He did a refurbishment of a Fostex X15 that had a cloudy door like this, and he managed to sand it so it was looking clear again. It just hadn't occurred to me that you could do that. So I've gone ahead and ordered some very fine grit paper, going from, I think that's what the grit is, so 600 particles per square, whatever. It was up from 600. But I'll do it in successive passes, starting with the roughest of those still very fine sandpapers and ending up with the smoothest, and see if we can get this a bit clearer. Here's how it's looking after the 600 grit paper. 1000 grit, 1200 grit, 1500. So that is by no means clear. I just ordered like a pack of fine grit, wet and dry sandpaper. I didn't really investigate how high the numbers go. Maybe there's some sort of liquid I should be using with this, some sort of motion I should be using. I mean, I would say that I prefer the look of that, where it's all kind of dull and burnished, to the streaky look that I had before. So I'm not sorry that I did that, but clearly there's more that needs to be done. Just did a little of my own research there, and apparently you get a better result by circular motion and adding a little water while you do it. Done a bit of that with this 1500 grit. I've also discovered that the grit goes all the way up to 10,000, so I've got a pack that goes up to 7,000. But also that you're meant to follow up with some sort of polishing compound. That's going to be a paste that's got lots of little particles in it. And if you get into that with a microfiber cloth, then that would actually come up clear. I'll show you the results once those things get here. A few days have gone by and this has arrived. Turtle wax polishing compound, light to medium cleaner. I think I typed medium polishing compound into eBay, and this was the cheapest brand that I recognised. And I've got a microfiber cloth, and I hope you can see I've only applied it to that part. No more sanding has taken place, but that's looking a lot clearer. Like, you can probably see some of the fingerprint details of my fingers that side, but it's all frosty there. So I'll do a little bit more, because the results are nearly instantaneous. Just small circular movements. Movements, not sure. If I get a bit of microfiber cloth without any of the compound on it, wipe that off. I mean, it's not quite as clear, I'd need to put a bit more work, but I mean, if I received that, I wouldn't necessarily know that that had previously been all streaky. So I guess the lesson from this is that although I have actually received the higher grit sandpaper, wet dry sandpaper, I've got it all the way up to 7,000 grit, and if I had to do this again, maybe I would take this up, well, certainly to 2,000, 3,000 grit paper before applying this polishing compound stuff. The polishing compound stuff will work with 1500 grit paper, which is the highest that I've used. I'll go off screen here and spend another 5 minutes rubbing away at this and see how good I can get it. I've gone ahead and given that a bit more of a wipe. The polishing compound. I mean, it's by no means perfect. If I hold it to the light, you can see that it's a little bit burnished. But I mean, it's much better than it was. I mean, without the light catching it, you can definitely read a cassette shell through that. Of course, I could spend a lot more time on that part. You can get buff heads for drills, can't you? Sort of like big felt things, so high speed with that, first with the compound and then without. It would bring it up a bit more. For it to do the whole thing in a lot more detail with the higher grit of paper, I'm sure I could get it really, really shiny, but then it would be a lot shinier than the plastic in which it was set. So I think that's probably good enough. I hope that was helpful and gives you some ideas about how to refurbish the cosmetic appearance of your own unit. Thanks for watching. hope to see you again soon.